here on the Andycharger channel. We are, just after 7:30. Hope you're all well. There's a few people already in the lobby. Give me a shout out, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment if you're out there. Be great to hear from you. It's a bit late going live tonight, but you probably noticed either the car has gone up in the air by about 5 feet, or the bumper is finally off the TT Mark 1. Do you know what I'm doing? I'm going to give you a little clean, as it looks a little bit cloudy. There we go. Get you in full HD. So there we go. Good evening, Stephen. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Bumper is finally off the car, and we'll talk a little bit about that tonight and about what I found after removing the bumper. Because as we know, with these cars, it's never plain sailing, is it? And there's always something hiding for us behind the paintwork. And the thing that I first found removing this bumper, and I'm going to put down here, as it's all over my garage floor, is this. I don't know if you can see that. See all that in there? Stick it between my hands. That is a big pile of dirt that came out of the bumper, believe it or not. So we talk about how we keep the sills clear of dirt and dust and what hides behind the trays. Hi Phil, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Finally got that email sorted and sent out to you earlier. So hopefully, there's a bit of a blockage. I'm glad you got it now, though. Hello, Chrissy, how you doing? If you want a good laugh, Aston Martin are attempting to reveal their car on a live stream, but it keeps crashing. And you want Aston Martin, yeah, there you go. Who would have thought? People that are good at designing cars and making cars should stick to designing cars, and people that like to talk about cars and broadcast live on YouTube should stick to that, maybe. So yeah, but yeah, going back to the car, we got the bumper off yesterday evening. I finally got it off, and yeah, as I took it off, the passenger side nice and clean. Hello, Andy, how you doing, mate? Hope you're well. But the driver's side was full of like dirt and stuff that was sitting behind the sills, behind the bumper, as we know. And so all I can liken or just suggest that is, I'm just going to adjust my lighting a little bit. All I can suggest is the reason the driver's side was full of dirt and the passenger side had none is obviously the passenger wing has been off this car while I've owned it, because I've had a new wing put on. So maybe they didn't take the whole bumper off to clean behind. Hello, Nathan. How are you? Listen to a lot of good music out of the UK this week. Yeah, we do. We are very well known for our music. That's one thing we're well known for in the UK. That and YouTubers maybe. But yeah, so got the bumper off. It's in really good condition. But again, when you start looking at things a bit more closely, a bit more carefully, you remove things. Hello, Cynical Dad. Hope you're good. I realised I started undoing it. And I'll talk about the removal process for an Audi TT Mark 1 bumper here on the live on the stream tonight. But it does have two bolts that secure it underneath. There's two like bits of plastic. If I can pick this up, I can show you actually. So on the bumper, it does have. If I lean that back, just like that. There we go. Now you can probably see this tab here, and hopefully you can see this tab here as well in the shot. Now, it looks a bit rusty, but obviously this is plastic, so it's not a problem. But what you'll notice is there's like a round circle where there's obviously been a bolt holding it in. Well, both of the bolts holding the bottom of my bumper in were missing. They weren't there. So there was nothing holding the bottom of my bumper up. Hello from Holland. Hi, Hank. How you doing? Hope you're good. So the papaya bumper was not attached at all to the under tray or anything underneath. It was completely detached. So that was a bit upsetting to see, but it is intact. There's no cracks. There's no damage to it. It's all in good condition, which is the best thing and the most important thing for it. But what was quite interesting, and we'll look at that in a little bit as well, is that it's had some paint at some point in its life. Hello, Gareth. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're well. Definitely had some paint at some point, and it's obviously been painted with all the sort of bits behind the wing left in place. So the pipe that runs down the passenger wing and behind the bumper for supplying the two aliens that do the headlight washers, that pipe should be clear. We've got a bit like that, so there you go. Should be like this behind there, although they tend, as they get old, they tend to go like that and get discoloured. But what they shouldn't be is painted papaya. and the one behind the wing on the passenger side has been painted papaya. So definitely had some paint at some point. I know the car has had paint because it's very obvious it's had paint. But yeah, so that was a bit frustrating. But I finally got the bumper off. And just to give you a quick rundown of how you remove an Audi TT Mach 1 bumper, first thing you need to do is you need to get the car up on axle stands, get the front wheels off. And sitting behind that, you have the wheel arch liners. Now, I would suggest if you're taking them off, remove the whole of the wheel arch liner. There's about 15 bolts that hold it in place. These Torx bolts that hold it in place. I'll show you what they look like. He says, have I got one to hand? Yeah, there's one. Nice clean one. There you go. You have these. I think they're either T30 or T25 Torx bolts. See that? They're like a little star screw, and they secure your wheel arch liners into position in the wheel arch. But what you can do is they have also, on most of the cars, they have some small, and I'll show you one of these as well, like a flap, like a front deflector or front aerofoil or something on the front of the bumper as well. And that's held in place with 3 bolts. So you can remove the 3 Torx bolts off that, remove the one off just above it. And if you're careful, you can bend the wheel arch liner back on itself. That gives you visibility of 2 nuts just on the outside of the bumper. They're hard to see unless you know where you're looking. They're 2 10mm nuts that secure the bumper. Once you've removed those 2 10mm nuts on either side of the bumper, what you can do, you can peel the bottom of the bumper away. It unclips itself. Underneath, you've got 2 bolts that secure it, or you should have, to the bottom of the bumper, which we know we're missing on mine. And then running across the top, you've got the plastic engine tray, like engine plastics that you class them as, like the front bit that goes around the car. And under that sits this bar. You have this bar just sitting under your bumper. It's secured by 6 more Torx bolts. Bit bigger, these Torx bolts. I think they're T35 or T40 even. I'll show you those as well. Give you an idea. So it's secured with these. There's 6 of those holding that in. You remove that bar and then you can literally lift the bumper off. But it's not as simple as that. Hello, Stuart. How you doing, buddy? Because once you've lifted the bumper off, it is still attached to the washer hose, and you can remove the little U-clip off that and disconnect it. But what I'd recommend when you're at that stage, and I'll just show you down here what I've done. So down there is my bucket and my washer hose, you can see. And I have had a bucket ready because it's actually easier. Rather than plugging up the pipe, it's easy just to run the fluid out of the fluid reservoir and then top it up later. Hello, Carl. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, all good, buddy. Finally got the bumper off the TT, so we are in business for doing a bit more work on it. So I'm just going to put this bolt down so I don't lose it. Put that down there, so it's back where I put it. But yeah, so the bumper is off. Just talking about how it wasn't actually attached underneath. There were 2 bolts missing out of it from the bottom, which are now off. But of course, if you were going to be doing any work on your car at the front of it at home, so say you were, oh, well done there, turn the camera off, that doesn't help. If you needed to remove your headlights, so on your car at home, if you need to remove your headlights, you'd have to remove the bumper to get to them. Hello, Insanity, how you doing? Hope you're all good. I'm just going to flick the lights on, so I've noticed it's still quite dark in here. It's not helped because I have got, that might be a bit better. That's a bit better, isn't it? It's give us a bit more light in the background. Yeah, it is quite dark because, believe it or not, with the bonnet open and this bumper in the way, it takes a lot of the lighting behind me. It blocks it out. So I am relying a little bit more on these soft boxes tonight. So I hope you're all well, guys. Anyway, so yes, you can. I got some LLL parts only last year. LLL parts. What are they, Phil? I'm not sure what that is. Oh, can you get replacement a wash for the undertray? Right. Okay. So I just read back on the comments. See what you guys talking about now. Yeah. So the bumper is finally off. But of course, when we've taken this bumper off, I'm going to give you a look in the wheel arch now. So now we're down here. So this is what's behind the wheel arch. So you can see I've peeled my wheel arch liner back. But look in here, look at this here. Look at all this where they painted this pipe and left it in situ. I mean, that's dreadful, really. And you can see there's been overspray on the intercooler, and there's overspray under here as well. There's overspray on, you can tell on this spring on here as well. So there's definitely a bit of overspray on it. What did surprise me, which I didn't know, is I didn't realise they had intercoolers on the 3.2 in the wheel arches still. I thought the 225 1.8 Ts were the only ones that had the intercoolers in the wings, but there you go. The 3.2 has intercoolers as well, so that shocked me a little bit. But someone might know the reason why that is. I'm sure there's a lot of knowledgeable people out there. It's good to see so many of my members on tonight as well. So lots of green names popping up. So thank you very much for being members. I have put a members only post out for you tonight with some offers of obviously discounted merchandise, hoodies and t-shirts and hats. So if you're looking for that, drop me a message at the channel. Obviously the members only content is coming out. We're coming out a lot more now as well, and obviously gives you access to me. So guys, if any of you are on that aren't members and you want to become a member of the channel, click the join link below. You too can become a member and join these wonderful people that support me. Chrissy puts into what's that? I think it's an oil cooler. Oh, is it, Carl? That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I hadn't even thought about that, Phil. Yeah, it is a traditional, or it is an OEM papaya bucket. If I'm going to empty water out of my car, I've got to use the right colour bucket, haven't I, really? Yeah, I wonder how it affects the throttle response to the 3.2. Yeah, don't know. I like to say, I think it's an oil cooler, but I thought the oil cooler was actually literally sitting on top of the where the oil pressure pipe, pressure sensor is. I thought that was the oil cooler there, but I might be wrong. But yeah, so bumpers off, the wheel arch is looking like they need a bit of a clean up as well, so they will get that. But now the bumper is off. And I was going to say we can now have a look at where this alternator is to get it off, because we know that we're going to have to take this off as well. We're going to have to loosen this front plastic part that holds the radiator in place. The front, not the front subframe, but like the front. What the name of that part is? Someone will shout out what it's called in a minute. But we're going to have to lower that forward so we can get to the alternator. It's a bit of a pig of a job apparently, but we will get there. I'm sure we will get there. So anyway, but thanks all for joining on tonight, guys, as well. So really appreciate it. We've got a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, we've got the car into a better state than we've had it last few weeks. We've got the bumper off, ready to give that a go. So that will be done probably next weekend. I'm going to talk about yesterday's video as well, because I'd be interested to get your thoughts on that. I know we talked about it last week as well. Video obviously finally went live yesterday. Had some good feedback already on that. I also thought I'd talk about as well scanning cars tonight, because it's important. And a story I heard over dinner last night, and I'm going to tell you about that as well, is that there's a lot of garages around that will scan your car for you, as we know, and tell you if you've got an engine management light on, and they charge you a pretty penny to do so. So my son's girlfriend was here last night for dinner, and she told me that she paid £80 to have her car scanned at the garage, which sounds to me like they were trying to pull the wool over her eyes. And I wish I'd scanned the car for it in advance of that, so she didn't have to pay it, because that's just taking advantage of young people, in my opinion. So what I have here, I've got a selection of code scanners that I'm going to talk about tonight, my experiences with them, how they can help you. And the first one I'll talk about is this little gadget here. And I will put a link to that. In fact, if you go to my channel and you look up OBD2 scanners for beginners on my channel, this one, or Bluetooth scanner, this will come up. These are about 12 quid on Amazon, and you can tell by the shape of it and design of it which one it is. You can probably identify that on Amazon. 12 quid, links with your phone. It's pretty basic. It will scan your car for codes. It will let you clear the car for code. So ideal if your car's in limp home mode and you want to just clear the code and get it going again. This get you out a lot of trouble. It's got lots of other features. Doesn't do some of the more complex stuff like like I'd say chains and that sort of thing. So reading chain measurements. Won't do that, but it is a really good gadget. So for £12, have it in your toolbox, have it in your glove box. You get you out of trouble. Always good to have. And then you go from something like that So then I used to have this one. This is another Top Don product. This is a hardwired one as well. On the, you can see on the back there, it's a hardwired one. It's quite a big screen. It's a few years old now. It does a lot of things. It reads change. It does all sorts of things. And that was about £150 at the time. But Top Don have just sort of surpassed themselves, and they've now shrunk that all down into this little gadget. This is the 600. I haven't given it a good test yet, so I can't really tell you if it's any good. But from initial look at it, it looks a top business scanner. It does lots of things. It calls itself a mid-range diagnostics. There's a mosquito on my phone. Don't like that. This is a mid-range diagnostic tool. So if you're looking to scan your car at home, you want to do a lot of the things like, if this does the same settings as this one, it will do a lot of the chain readings. The good thing about these ones are, these bigger ones, and the ones that are not like Vagcom or whatever, is they will do a whole host of cars. They do a lot of different brands of it. So yeah, the cooler is for the power steering fluid. Oh, okay, not the actual cooler. Right, nice one, Cole. That's good, mate. Thank you for that. So that's a really good one. But I've also been sent another one. I've had it sitting on the shelf for God knows how many months. I'm going to grab that one, which is behind here. In fact, it's been in the Tesla of all things. Not that I read codes on the Tesla of it, but I think Chris has done a review of this one actually quite recently on the Mucar 892 BT. So it's been knocking. You see the box. It's been knocking around the garage for a while. Looks really good. I think for the cost of it, it's an expensive scanner. It's about £600, I think, all in. Although I think I've got a discount code for it, and I think Chris has got a discount code on his channel. But check out Chris's review on that on his channel. He talks all about that Mucar scanner and how it uses AI. It goes off to Google and does a lot of scanning. But to be fair, the Top Don ones do that as well. But it is a bit of a premium item, this. So what they will do is they will allow you to do all the things like chain readings, resetting, all the sort of like features. So for more modern cars, it does a lot more of unlocking features. So I think it's pretty cool, that one. Again, I haven't done a detailed review of it yet, but I'm sure it will be coming at some point. But so I've got this mid-range one, top range one, and then you've got the bargain basement for 12 quid. If I was going to invest some money in something to get me out of trouble, this will do most of what you want for 12 quid. So I would recommend getting up one of those from, say, on Amazon. Find my video, and it has, I think it, just so you know, like of all these things, I'm not getting anything for talking about them, by the way. So they just send me this stuff and get me to review them. Don't get anything other than the gadget. But this one, again, there's a link to it, but it's only a link to Amazon. It's not a link to me getting anything for it. But if you want the link to that one, I'll happily share it with you and find out where it is. But it's actually a good one. And the good thing is, if you're like me and you've got a few TTs, you can stick one in each glove box, can't you? You're never going to have to think, oh, it's in the wrong car. You've always got it with you. So definitely recommend that. So that's all good. So obviously the Roadster's all back on the road, which is good. And that's all now being used again. That was used at the weekend. Starts, first turn. It's just effortless. Charge the battery up after it. All those problems with the battery. Did the whole battery repair. And now it sits for days and out in the cold, go out there, turn it over, and it starts, no trouble. So I'm really pleased with that. Sit for a week and it will still start fine. This obviously started filming the video for this last night, talking about how we test the alternator, how we remove the alternator, and how we all worked out it was a problem with the alternator. So that's all coming. So hopefully that'll help a few of you at home where you're looking, you've got problems with the battery going flat, or you've got problems with the red light on the dash with the battery. Hopefully that should give you a bit of an insight into what the problem is with your Audi TT, because you'll be able to follow my steps and that should solve it. But on the topic of solving things, I did a video yesterday. If you've not seen the video, please check that video out. It went live yesterday afternoon, and it's all about the important maintenance jobs that you must undertake as a new owner, because we know there are lots of cars that are out there that maybe have skipped a few service intervals and maybe aren't as honest as we'd like in the advert. So people that are selling these cars aren't always telling us the facts. And you can drive that car away with no service history and be in all sorts of trouble. But if you did drive that car away and you think, do you know what, it's a genuine car, but I don't know any background behind it, there's some pretty important jobs that you should do, and I have talked about them in that video. And I think one of the most important one is the timing belt, because we know if you don't change that timing belt at the right service interval, which is 5 years, 75,000 miles, it has a habit of letting go. And also we've got an engine in the garage here tonight, which we'll talk about as well, which has suffered that problem with stripping teeth, stripping the belt, and then causing massive problems. So that would be my first thing that I'd do. Second thing I would do is I would get, if I've got a 1.8T engine, I'd have that sump off that car, and I'd have that pickup pipe off if there's no record of it ever being done. Because I said last week that if you don't change that pickup pipe, it can get blocked, it can starve your engine of oil, and that could end in your engine going pop, which is never good. And in fact, when I put the video live yesterday, I did ask the question, and I'll ask the same thing tonight. Can you let me know in the chat if there are any jobs you feel you should undertake as a new owner of an Audi TT Mark 1, immediate jobs to get it done to make sure your car keeps going? So let me know in the chat if you want to contribute to that, because it's always a good conversation. Definitely check out the video on the channel as well, because that would be the best place to put your comments, because that will help other people that are looking for it. So it's had some really, really positive feedback, which is great. I always like to bring new videos that are helping new users, new owners out, and obviously older owners that maybe have forgotten about these jobs or things they hadn't maybe thought about, because not everyone knows all these jobs, and people can end up getting themselves in a bit of a mess. But if you're enjoying what you're watching tonight, guys, please do give it a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the information I'm passing on, as always, it's always good to hear what you think of the content. Anything you want me to cover off as well, I will also do. I also put a video live yesterday on my sister channel, so if you're not a subscriber to that, then please do check it out. You might not be a fan of it because it is about electric vehicles, so it's Andycharger electric. Bit of an interesting take on it. I know that people are very polarized by electric vehicles. I own one myself, and I do actually love driving it, but I want to make sure the knowledge that I've gained through the TT that I pass on to the community, I'm doing the same thing with electric cars, because they're very current. There's an awful lot of misinformation about in the press about them, and we'll talk about something else there's misinformation about in a moment. Right, before I do though, Andy, yeah, your pickup pipe is being done tomorrow, right? Yeah, and decided to change the oil pump at the same time. Good shout, Andy. Really, I think while you're about it, you might as well get that all done. It's one of those jobs that can end up starving your engine of oil, and it's peace of mind, get it done, and it's happy days. Stephen Craddock, question. Fire away, buddy. What is your question? A member's question. So what is your question, mate? See if I can help. How easy is it to get to the CCM, BCM in a coupe? Do you know what? If I tell you the truth, Steve, I don't even know where the CCM is in the coupe. I think it might. Is it in one of the rear quarters on the coupe? I've got a feeling it's in one of the quarters. I might be wrong though on that. I'm not entirely sure. We know it's a pig to get to in the Roadster, but also the CCM is critical to keep dry in the Roadster, because that can cause problem. I've changed everything apart from the engine and shell. Oh, that's good, Mohammed. At least you've you know your way around the rest of it. So if we get stuck, we know where to come and ask a few questions. So yeah, good. Nice to see you. And welcome along tonight. I don't know if we've had you on. I know I recognise your name from Facebook posts, I think, Mohammed, as well. So welcome along. If it's your first time on the live, welcome along, and hope you enjoy the conversation. Yeah, on the passenger side, I thought it was. Hopefully, Steve, if it's in the passenger side, it should be easy to get to. Started my pickup part yesterday. The sump had so much sealer, took multiple pallet knives to remove it. Yeah, that's the thing, SB. There. So if you are if you're doing this job on the sump, two things I'll say with that. If there's loads of sealant on it already, chances are it's been off before. And if it's been off before, it might already have been done. So you might be in luck. But obviously, when you are doing it, you get a tube of this Durco. I'll see if I can find it. Where's my Durco? No, can't find it. It's here somewhere. Where's my Durco? No, I can't see it. But I've got a tube of that sealant, and it comes in like a tube, and you have to put a bead on that's thick enough that it will cause a seal, but not too thick that basically squeezes back inside the sump, drops into your sump, and causes more of the same problems. So you need to be a little bit careful with that. So started my yeah. So I've changed my clocks to custom white dials. Nice. I bet that looks pucker. Make it look quite like a modern look to the car. I think the first car I remember that really had white dials like that was I think the Escort RS Cosworth had them back in the day in the mid-90s. I think that was the first car I remember. Someone took me out for a drive in their one, and it was yeah, something else. When you were a young lad, I was only about 18, 19, and they took me out in that, and it was amazing with a big whale tail spoiler on the back of it. Great car. But yeah, so what other jobs do you think, guys, that people should do? Help out other users, help out a new owner of a car. What would you recommend they do to their cars? But what I have noticed on this car, and I'll probably just tilt you down a little bit like that. I don't know if that'll do it. So remove that top down out of the way. Can you see, guys? Can you see my AC condenser? This is on the front. Can you see this? It's wet. Okay, this is wet. Now I've not taken the radiator off yet, but the fact that that's wet is making me wonder if the radiator's got a leak, because it is wet. And this car's been in the garage for a couple of weeks. So what's your thoughts on that, on the water showing on the front of the condenser? Do you think I've got a problem there? Had a thick bead all around the outside, rest of candle wax, all nasty. Matching oil pressure and boost pressure gauge. Oh, wicked. I bet that looks cool. I'd also do the Haldex. Yeah, I in the video I did actually mention that. So there's about 7 jobs I mentioned in the video, so definitely check it out. Doing the Haldex is a must as well, and you should do the Haldex oil every 20,000 miles and the Haldex oil and filter every 40,000 miles, just to give you an idea of how frequent you should do those to the car. It's essential you do it, because otherwise you turn your Quattro into a 2-wheel drive car if you neglect it, which unfortunately my Roadster is suffering. Now, I don't think it's the fact that it hasn't had the oil change or a filter, because I've changed that myself. I think it's developed a fault at some point. Now, one of the faults it could have is it could have lost the earth strap on the Haldex. If that has failed and come away, which likely it has, it could be causing that Haldex to not, the unit not to kick in. There's no codes being thrown with it, but I've proved by spinning the wheels up that it slips, and it does slip away from the mark. So it's definitely not functioning. So I've got Mark Stanley has sent me a new diff, well, not a new, but a second-hand diff and Haldex to swap out. So I will do that at some point. Stick something to catch lick on it and see if it's the same as in your contact. Well, I was going to give it a lick. Doesn't taste sweet. Doesn't taste sweet. Hello, Steve. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good. Nice to see fellow YouTuber now, Stephen Harper, VW, guys. So if you are an Audi TT Mark 1 fan and you don't already follow Stephen, definitely check out Stephen's channel. He's got some great content on his channel. Stephen Harper, VW. Give him a follow. Great to see you on, Stephen. Is it the oil as part of the lubricant? What do you think? This might be oil here. Don't know. It feels very like, it doesn't feel like oil. Doesn't taste like coolant either, but interesting what it could be. Just saying, Stephen, I've got a bit of a wet patch here on the condenser. Do you know what that could be? The radiator doesn't look like it's leaking. Now the car hasn't moved obviously in a couple of weeks. Oh, probably longer than that now. Just good to have a look at your while we're down here. Is I don't know if you can see that. So if we're down here, running along here is my power steering pipe, and they have a habit of failing. They have a habit of corroding and failing. Now I've got one here off the car. So here's one I've taken off the 225, and you can see that's pretty corroded on the end there. Now it's intact, but it is corroded. And I did wonder, can you have these powder coated if they haven't failed already? Can you have them powder coated and well, powder coat. Can you have them blasted and powder coat? I don't know if you can or not, but just poured power steering fluid all over the floor of the garage, but that's another story. Andy, what are you doing? That's never good. Never good. Right, I need to get a cloth down on the floor for that, guys. Because that's just gone all over my BT 200 battery tester and my manuals and my jump surge manual. Oh, dearie me. That'll teach me, won't it? That'll teach me to be doing two things at once. I was just about to say power steering. Yeah, it's quite high up for power steering fluid, shot blast and powder coat. I can do that, can I? I hope there was not a dog hanging around in front of the car today. Yeah, no, definitely not, unless it's snuck in the garage, or maybe one of the kids has done it. Maybe one of the kids got desperate for the loo. I don't know, but yeah. So we are. It's an interesting one where it is, and I would have thought if it's been in the garage for this long, anything that was wet would have evaporated off the car. But you never know, do you? So we'll see what that turns out to be. What else was I going to talk about? I was going to talk about one of the videos. My mind's completely gone blank there, but that's never good, is it, when you're meant to be doing a live broadcast? I'm just sort of trying to just scroll through the comments. I need to do my subframes underneath never-ending story. Yeah. I reckon it's leaking to atmosphere. It's condensation. It could be, Phil. Yeah. Hello, Jack. How you doing? Welcome along. Hope you're well, buddy. Yeah, I would have thought though that if it was, it's not that cold. It's cold. Obviously, I'm not that cold because I've got my great jelly on tonight, courtesy of Mr. Foreman. Thank you, mate. And I don't think it would be, knowing how the condenser normally works and seeing the gas come out of these. I don't think it is that. It might be, but it's weird how it's just sitting where it is. I imagine it would have evaporated by now. Subframes, I've got two subframes hanging up, one done and one waiting to go off and be done. As I spoke to Phil earlier, Phil Pottinger on here. I had an email exchange with him and pointed out that there was a hanger, a rear subframe hanger for sale on eBay. But I am going to take the one off the 225 and have that powder coated as well. I would like to take the whole of the subframe off that car, because the subframes look really good on it, and I think they could be shot blasted, powder coated, and I could probably sell them and make a profit on them, because they're no good to me because it's a 225. Obviously, I have a 225 Roadster, but it's a different subframe. It's got some extra bits on it. But it could be beneficial for someone else if I had it shot blasted cheap enough and made a good job of it and sold it on. So I could do that. Obviously, I need to take the cats off that car as well and make £100 out of that. So that coupe is still making money even now, even all this time later. So yeah, it's quite good. I've got boost leak issues. Oh, that's always a gutter. That if the actuator is faulty, what's the symptoms? Anybody? I don't know. The actuator is the bit at the back, isn't it, on that little metal bar with like a little, almost like a little vacuum unit on the end. I think that's the actuator. Is that right? Or it looks like a little vacuum unit. Might be wrong. I'm sure the guys will know what the symptoms are. But obviously I was going to say I should have done a few videos this week when I was out and about. So on Saturday night at 10:30, I get a phone call from my son because he's got a flat tire and he's trying to pump it up and it won't pump up. And when I got there, I wish I'd taken a picture and shared it with you guys tonight. When I said the sidewall had been slit about 30 times, and it hadn't been slit with a knife. I think where he'd been driving on it for so long, he just absolutely shredded the sidewall. Then couldn't get the wheel nuts off the car. At the time I was in Romford, I then had to drive all the way back to Paddockwood to sort that out. I then had to drive all the way back to my house to get more tools, all the way back to where he was in Paddockwood. So we finally got home at 3 o'clock Sunday morning in the end of it. Now the wheel nuts on that Fiesta, they've got like a weird cap over them that you can't really see. They're almost like welded to the nut. But they stop it being a 19mm nut and stop it being a 20mm nut, somewhere in between. So it's a real pig to get off. We managed to do it, got it off, and but I thought I'd do that mosquito still flying around. I thought I would do a video on first on those wheel nuts. Secondly, on, of course, he was sitting in the car for 4 hours, right, to turn up and help him out. To which he had the lights on and all the electrics. So I had to jump start the car as well. So I thought that would have been a great opportunity to talk about the Jump Surge JS 3000, which we used to jump it, because that's an amazing bit of kit, guys. Can't talk highly enough of that. So if you need a jump star, that's the one for you. Won't hold boost if weak. Spray, overspray, extra rust protection. Yeah. Recently, it's hissing from beginning of boost. I did a smoke test with them from the math side. Did you get any leaks when you did that smoke test? Because that's one of those things I'd like to do, because I think my 225 is all right, but I'd like to do a smoke test on it just to see if there's any puffs of smoke coming out anywhere around the engine bay. Because I think it'd be quite useful to see. I think there may be some leaks going on that I'm not aware of, but we'll see. Because it does, you hear the boost kick in, and it does pick up a little bit, but I don't know if it picks up enough. Who knows? I think I need to have a look at that. 0 leaks. Thank you. But yeah, so we've got the bumper off. I was going to move it out of the way so we can have a little look at where this alternator might be. But to get the bumper off, it's going to be a real mission to get it out of the way. But I could probably do it. But what I want to do, I want to put get it well out of the way and get it on some towel so the paintwork doesn't get scratched and damaged. Because that's the worst thing that can happen to it. I'll send over my vape. Yeah, get it to down the end of it. That'll sort it out, won't it? That's the second time someone's asked tonight about sending over the misses. I helped a guy out in the States, and what was it? Oh, on putting the clips back on the brake caliper. The not the anti-rattle clips, but the retaining clip that goes on. He couldn't get it off. So then I managed to. He watched a video and he showed me how to attach, or I showed him how to attach it on my video. And he came back and he looked all over the internet trying to find it, couldn't find it, and then he offered to send his wife over. I don't know, I didn't quite understand the context behind it, which has got through my mind a little bit. So I was a bit shocked. I was going to end up with someone turning up my house, but anyway, they didn't. But so jobs coming up on the 3.2 then. So we know that we need to get the alternator done. I think I've got something to investigate here now. Obviously, we know that now that's off. I don't know. Oh, that was one thing I was going to talk about. You may have seen a video I made well over a year ago about Auxito headlight bulbs. I don't know if you saw that video, but we tried them in 3 different Audi TTs. We couldn't get them to work, right? So we put them on, we turned the ignition on, turned the lights on. Initially, bosh, the light came on for a split second, then it would go off. And that's because they're those LED bulbs and the ballasts don't like working with them. I think it's Rob Clamp, is it, in the Facebook group? He'd managed to get it working. So, Rob, if you're on there, well done for getting. I know we've had a chat about it, and I do want to work out how you've done it, because it does make me think maybe the bulbs they sent me were faulty. They did. Auxito offered to send me a second set of bulbs to test, and I might email them back and get them to send them now, because if they work, then great, because they are working for other people. But of course, in my video, I am saying they don't work, and I guess the electrophysics behind it from electromechanical auto engineers suggest that it shouldn't work either because of how it works. I don't know the principle behind it, but maybe someone can shed the light on it. But I have got the bulbs here still, and I haven't tried them on the Papaya, so maybe we can try them on the Papaya. The trouble is, I mean, we could do that tonight, couldn't we? But it's got such a flat battery, I don't think it'll have enough juice in it anyway to do it. What volts did the TT show at idle? If your engine is running and you've got you're testing at the battery, you should have about 14.5 volts running on the battery. If you've got any less than 14.5 volts, it was just your alternator is not charging your battery. So if at rest, about 14.4 volts. Yeah, there you go. Feels the same thing. Yeah, you can use the 49C on the I think it's 49C on the was it 20C on that one, on the menu, the hidden menu on the dash, or you can use a multimeter, or you can use one of these great diagnostic tools as well. They also tell you the voltage. You can use a battery tester like this. that I've talked about is now covered in power steering fluid, but the battery tester box and the BT 200 from Top Don, that's the one they sent me. Really good bit of kit. And the good thing about that one is it tests car batteries up to 24 volts. So it tests lorries as well. Yeah, 13.9. Yeah, it's about 14.4, I think, is where it needs to be. If you're pushing 13.9, it's a little bit low. So maybe the alternator is definitely working at that, because obviously the battery's a 12-volt battery. I'll put the cigarette lighter for USB with voltage meter. Nice. So you're getting that. So, but it does seem a little bit low at 13.9. I'd imagine it to be a bit higher than that, but maybe because it's idle, maybe that's the difference. Guys, if you're enjoying what you're watching tonight, then please do give this video a thumbs up as well, so I know you're enjoying what you're watching. This is the 6th week we've done it this year, so I'm doing these every week. I'm going to see if I can do 52 this year, one every week on a Monday, because I don't think I've got any Mondays that I'm actually away. So I'm hoping we can do it every Monday this year. I obviously did 3 at the end of last year. And again, if you're enjoying the content and you're not already a member, then please do maybe join the channel as a member and help support me as well, because I'm trying to grow the membership base. We're trying to get some more members only features as well. So there'll be some more members only lives, members only content coming out. And obviously we've got the discount for the merchandise. So if you want some Andycharger merchandise, they come with a discount as well. And we've also got you get your name in the videos, obviously get shout outs in the videos, so hopefully there's that. And obviously, and you get the extra knowledge that you're helping support the Andycharger channel as well, and keep me doing what I'm doing. So if you want to support me, then please do join as a member. Mrs. Jugs, thank you. I know you joined as a member yesterday, so thank you very much for jumping on. Can you cover how to get your hoodies? Would like to order 2 ready for the international meets, please. Yeah, I can do. I can cover that off. So if you are so there's a few different style hoodies that are around. So this is the retro one, the kids retro we call it. So it's got the big Andycharger badge on the front. We do the traditional Andycharger hoodies that have the logo on the front, and they've got the big logo on the back. So that's the one that's the most popular item. But for the TT International show, we are doing a special Audi TT International show hoodie, which will have my logo on the front here, and on the back it will have the TT International show logo on the back as well. So they are for members. The members hoodies, they are £25 plus the postage. I think it's £5.99 postage, so it's £31. For non-members, they're £30 plus £5.99 postage, so about £36. If you're interested in a hoodie, please do drop me a message at the channel. So it's you need to drop me an email so I can talk to you about it and give you the options. You can see the options in one of my posts, what they look like. And the email address you need to contact me at is andy_charger@hotmail.com. So if you drop me an email at andy_charger@hotmail.com, I will get back in touch with you, send you any pictures you want, any colours. I've got a full range of colours that are available in. They are proving quite popular, actually. I think, Andy, if you're on here, so you ordered a couple last night as well. So that's 2 more that are coming now. So they are starting to build up. We had a few already shipped out from off the back of it. So I reckon that more people might be at the show with those hoodies on. I'm also going to do a range of T-shirts for the show, which will be based on the same thing. They'll be slightly cheaper. But I think the T-shirts are £20 for non-members and £15 for members plus the postage. So if you're interested in a T-shirt to go with it, or you want to wear a T-shirt and hope for the good weather, because the last 2 years we've had roasting hot weather in April, which has been amazing. So yeah, T-shirts for the summer. Yeah, if you want a T-shirt, if you want a hoodie, you can go for the traditional Andycharger one that's got the little logo on the front or the big logo on the back, or you can go for the International TT show one with the little logo on the front and the TT International show logo on the back. Drop me a message and I can show you all the details of that. I do need to get them on my. I need to get myself up a store so you can just order it all directly from me. Can I give a shout out to Draw Bespoke and PBS services for my dash upgrade? Great, of course you can. That's great to know, Mohammed. I'm glad that's helped you. I've saved all your videos for my DIY and SOS situations. I'm glad I'm helping you out, guys. And if you find that I am helping you out and maybe you're not a channel member, then please do join as a channel member. But if you don't want to commit to being a member, you can always buy me a coffee as well. If I've helped you out in the past, maybe, and you want to give back, then you can buy me a little coffee with a little dollar donation sign at the bottom of this video. and help me keep me in food and water, and contribute to keeping these great videos going. So something I do need to buy. I do need to get myself a new camera this year, because filming is proving quite hopeless at the moment on what I've got. So I do need to upgrade my camera to keep bringing this great content to you. Well, I hope you think it's great content. I think you do, because I do get a lot of good feedback. I wonder what how much battery I've got left on my gilet, because it is keeping me nice and warm tonight. Let's have a look what I've got left. 50%. There you go. So it wasn't fully charged when I came out here, so we've definitely got at least 1 more hour in it. So keeping me warm. So if you've got any other questions for me on hoodies, cars, fixes, upcoming meets, there's quite a few meets coming up, isn't there, in this month, I've noticed. So if you want to see what meets are coming up, jump on the TT Addicts Facebook page. I'm a member, I'm an admin of that group. Well, I'm a moderator on that group. I'm not a full admin, but I'm a mod. And there's a few meets coming up this month. A lot of good things on. Mohammed, thank you for joining up as a member. That's most appreciated. That's great. Thank you very much, sir. Hats off to you for joining the growing brethren and sisterin of Andycharger members. Thank you, buddy. But yeah, if you have any meets that you want to go to that you're thinking about, definitely check that page out. I normally do a monthly meet videos, right? Do we have a secret handshake? Yes, we will. I'll send you the secret code. I'll add you to this week's video as well when it comes out this week, because obviously you'll need to be in that also. Although I think there's a video going to go out midweek this week, which is all about fitting one of these. I'm sure I'm going to show you now. Fitting one of these into a Ford Cougar of all things, and that's a really bizarre car to do it in. But I did it for my mother and stepfather, because they were driving to Cornwall, and their sat nav in their old 16-plate Cougar was so old it just didn't work for them. It was out of date. The maps were out of date, so I fitted them one of these. This one's made by Car Period. I've already got a video review of this on the channel, but I've just done one on a cheaper version of it called Lamto. I think they're about £70. Brilliant little device. And what you have to be careful of if you think about fitting any of these, and I'm going to fit one of these in my Roadster for going to France this year, so this will be really cool to help us with navigating. What you find is the cheaper ones, they when you sort of like navigate, the response time of the screen is really slow, because they use a slow processor, because they're making them cheap. So you have to make sure that when you order these devices, that the response time is really quick and they don't lag. So the Lamto one, absolutely brilliant. So I'm going to do a review. I'm also going to put a link in my video when it comes out, so you can maybe pick one up yourself if you're interested in pick one up, because that is a really good one. It's quite reasonably priced as well. But yeah, so I'm going to fit one of these in the Roadster. So I'm sure that'll be a great video coming up for some of you to watch. See if you might want to do it yourself. But yeah, so what else is I going to talk about on video wise that I've got coming up? Oh, something just fell down. I can't remember. I'm going to revisit that. I am going to revisit that Auxito video. If I can get that Auxito headlights to work, I'm going to visit that again, and we'll go through that, because I think that will be, if they do work, it'll be really useful to help tell people it does work. I'm going to do a deep dive video once the alternator's off on replacing the components of it, so we can bring it back to life rather than just put a new one on. So I'm going to do an alternator rebuild. I've also got a video coming up shortly on testing your starter motor on your car as well. So that will be quite an interesting one, how you can bench test a starter motor. I haven't taken it apart yet. Richard, I don't know if you're still on here, mate, but we were going to arrange for you to come and see me and take the bolts off the head bolts off the head of the wrecked engine with the M10 ride bit. Well, I must have a bit that's like an M10 ride, I think, because I was able to undo them. So I haven't. This mozzie keeps flying around. That's going to get it in a minute. I am going to try and take that engine apart. Got it. There you go. There's that mozzie. Look. So I was talking about it. Dirty little mozzie flying around my garage. Yeah. So I'm going to take the head bolts off the off that head. Get it off, and we'll look at the damage. Is alternator a big job? Should I do it with my timing belt service? You could do it at the same time. The alternator, depending if you've got, I think you said you've got a 180. Did you say, Mohammed? Not such a big job on the 1.8T engine. You can do it from above. On the 3.2 V6, you've got the front of the car off, which is why the bumper's now off. We're going to have all of this off. We're going to have all this off. And don't be sad about it. They're all great cars. The 1.8T, obviously, although it doesn't have maybe the top end power of the 225, what it does have, it has that that KO3 turbo, which spools much quicker than the KO4 does, which means that you get down the road initially much quicker because the boost kicks in much sooner. So, you know, there's swings and roundabouts there. I don't think they're too bad. There's no info for my ARY engine. When you say info, Mohammed, what do you mean that there's no info for it? There's no videos for it, or there's no help for it? Yeah, around London, it's fabulous. Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm not too far away from London. I'm obviously down in Kent. So if you get the chance to come to some of our meets down in Kent, it'd be great to meet you and catch up. There is a meet coming up at the end of February, actually, in I think it's the 22nd of February, and that is being held in Rochester at Cineworld. So there's a Cineworld in Rochester on an industrial estate, and it's got the M2 flyover above our heads. So we tend to meet there and do a bit of a live, do broadcasts as well like this. We stand around, we talk about cars all morning. There's a McDonald's close by. I will be bringing some sweet treats and bakes along on the morning because the Springbank kitchen is now fully open once again for 2026. So we will be supplying brownies, cakes, all sorts of things. My wife's business, so I'll get her to bring a tray of bakes along for on the day for people. So yeah, 225, yeah, 180 ARY is quite rare. I've been ill a lot with my bank. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Once this boost issue is resolved, I'll show you my clocks. My Zenons I'm working on. Yeah, definitely I'll check those out, Mohammed. That'd be great. It sounds brilliant. Thank you. You definitely keep me, you know, I'm always good to cover cars that maybe don't have an awful lot of content as well, because they are, we know the 180 and the 225 are different, and they, you know, there's a lot of people with both cars out there, and most content is probably on the 225. But I'm always happy to cover other cars off as well. So if you want me to cover that off, back issues, not bank issues. And say what's wrong with your bank? Maybe your bank's shut down or something. I don't know. But okay, well, I hope if you've got back issues, I hope they get resolved. And I'm also hoping that if you're driving a TT, you've got a nice comfy chair in it, because they can be a little bit hard on your back, some of these cars. Next to 3.2, well, I'll tell you what, come to the show with me and I'll take you for a spin in the Papaya at some point, and then yeah, make your mind up if you want a 3.2 or not. But this is obviously not the first 3.2 that I've taken apart, because if you've watched my videos on the oil pressure sensor problem that I had with the blue 3.2, we've had the front off that one as well. So I'm well versed at taking the front off these cars now and what it involves. And the good thing is, the first time you take a bumper off a 225 Audi TT Mark 1, it's a bit of a learning curve. You've got to learn what you're doing, and now I can just whip it off. I know where all the bolts are, and off it comes, which is why I haven't filmed the removal of this video, because I already have quite a detailed deep dive video for removing bumpers for beginners. So it is a bit of a bit labor intensive and takes a while, but once you've done it, yeah, I fancy yeah, Steve's got a great car. Steve's got a few great cars, actually. He's got the Quattro Sports as well, and obviously Tracy's got a lovely white car as well. So they've got, and she's obviously got a green Roadster. So between them, they've got some great Audi TT Mark 1s. Some good cars around. I think I would still like, if I could add to my collection, and the price was right and it came up, I might be interested in buying Steve's yellow Roadster at some point if that ever came up for sale. So Steve, if you're out there tonight, maybe give me first refusal. Tell me what the price is first, obviously, but do like that car, and I do like to collect TTs, as you know. If I did that, would I sell my silver Roadster? Oh, I don't know. I don't get much money for it. That's the trouble. And it's the original channel car, so I can't resell that, can I? No, I won't do that. I won't do that. But if there is a TT project that comes up for sale that's reasonably priced, always, you know, chuck it my way, because it'd always be interested to have a look at what's out there. Maybe you've fallen out of love with your car. Maybe you've got an unusual car that you don't want to part with. You want it to go to a good home. Then I might see if I can become a collector of exotic TT Mark 1s. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows? See what we can do. Oh, I'll tell you a job I've got coming up. Talked about this last week, didn't I? fuel filter. Got to do that still. So I'll get that done with all this. And of course, the clock is now ticking. We are going to Ypres in the middle of April. So a few of you that are on tonight are coming to Ypres as well with me. That's going to be a fantastic show in Belgium. Audi TT Mark 1s, amazing. And I think when we do that, I've got to make sure this car's tip-top. So there's a few jobs to get done. Stephen Harper, odd question from inside the car. When I open the door, the windows don't drop down, but when I open from outside, the window do drop. So what's the problem? Well, the only difference between those would be where the actuator is taking its signal from. Because obviously the outside handle, I think it's a mechanical link. I don't think it's wiring. So it must be that your mechanical link back to the actuator is not working somehow. Do both doors do the same thing? If you open the passenger door, does the window drop on the inside? Let me know. Yeah, definitely sounds like a link, Steve. Because if it's working on the outside but not the inside, that's the only difference. It's the handle that you're using. Because the actuator is the actuator, isn't it? So it's just from where it's taking that signal from. That would be my thoughts. I mean, I'm no expert, but that would be my thoughts on it. So, guys, what have you got going on with your TTs at the moment? Let me know. And why don't you tell me in the comments where you're watching from tonight as well? Because I'm really interested to know where around the world you guys are watching from. I know we got someone from Holland earlier, but where else are you all? Tell me in the comments where you are. Yeah, so Mohammed sort of agrees with what I've said there. I'm hoping there's a cup of tea coming at 7:30. If there's anyone watching my feed from my own house, say microswitch. Oh, okay. But it's actually physically, it's a physical actuation though, is it not? If there's anyone watching in my house, can you bring me a cup of tea? I don't think there's anyone watching in my house, but it's worth a try, isn't it? If a cup of tea turns up now, I'll be really surprised, but you never know. Shall we have a little quick look at the broken engine? Should I try and set some lights up so we can have a look at it? Let's see if we can do this. Okay. Here we go. So I'm going to bring the camera over here. And then I'll put the light over here like that. Hopefully that's worked. Get some light on the subject. And the bit that you need to look at is not the light, but this bit right down here. State my garage. Yeah, Serkan's a great guy. He supplied me quite a few parts over the years. So here is the broken 1.8T engine that we've talked about before. And we've got these, essentially there are 10 bolts holding this in place. So you've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 bolts. And they were an M10 ride bit to get this engine off. And until I get those bolts out, I won't know what damage has been caused. So what's happened on this engine, as I talked about before, as we know, this belt has failed. Look at the teeth that's been lost off this belt. All those teeth have gone off that belt. So the belt and strip teeth, obviously the timing jumped out. So the valves and the pistons have come together and caused some damage. We don't know how much damage yet until we take this head apart. But as you can see, I've got a lot of things off. So you notice the camshafts are off this engine now and the cam chain. So you talk about this car has a timing belt, it does. It also has a cam chain that sits in here. And that, all it does, it links the two camshafts together. It doesn't go anywhere else, doesn't connect around the engine, just literally sits around that. Borja Gomez, how you doing, buddy? I hope you're well tonight. I see you guys are still chatting about the micro switch. See how you get with it, Steve. If there's any parts you need, Steve, that you need sending over, let me know. I had a new exhaust plus new springs and shock absorbers today. The carbon fibre spoiler. Yeah, I see the picture you sent me. That spoiler. It looks wicked. It's absolutely wicked. Uh, yeah. That's right. You don't. That's all good. So I think what I want to do on this. So they talk about the 1.8T. If you've got the cover on the engine, it says 20V on it, doesn't it? Do you know that? It says 20V, 20 valve. So rather than it being a 16 valve engine or 8 valve engine, this is a 20 valve engine. And the reason it's 20 is what it has here. It has these 3 inlet um, valves and 2 exhaust valves. So it has 3 per cylinder. It has 3 inlet valves sitting here, and these are the hydraulic lifters, and 2 exhaust valves. So there you go. So there's 5 on each cylinder. There's 4 cylinders. There's 20 valves. So there you go. Why they've done it that way, I don't know exactly. I would say that the valves, the inlet valves that have got these little hydraulic lifters on the top of them, they are much smaller. They're a smaller valve than the exhaust valve that seems to be much bigger. I would imagine if you added the two totals together, they're probably the same volume because they'd have to be, I would have thought. But I don't know the principle. Does anyone know why they've got 3 smaller ones like this and why they've got 2 larger ones? Do you know why they've gone for 3? Is there some sort of to do with efficiency? If anyone knows, let me know. If not, I'm going to go off and find out the reason behind it. Maybe that's another video. Why a 20 valve engine's a 20 valve engine? I don't know the answer to it myself, but it's quite interesting. But what's quite interesting on this is to see the amount of carbon scoring across the back here from oil, from burnt oil. So it was quite a dirty engine, I think, before its life came to an end. But yeah, so I might do a video on this about how to strip this down and show you the damage that's been caused by a timing belt failure. Because I think it'd always be a good reason to encourage people to make a timing belt, why to change a timing belt on these engines. Obviously, that's the gasket that sits around the coil packs. The coil packs go in there. So right sitting down in there is still the spark plugs for this engine. Obviously, I've had the turbo off the back of it. I've got the inlet manifold off the front of it. The exhaust manifold still on the back of it. The engine loop is at the front as well to lift it up. But yeah, lots of stuff still in place. So I'm going to bring you back round now. And we'll go back to talking here because it's easier to talk here than it is standing by the engine. So if you've got any questions for me, let me know in the chat. Torque, is that the reason why it has more torque? Does it? Okay, well I'll look into that and see what they say and why it's done. Didn't know you can do. I didn't know you can do a rebuild. I'm not doing a rebuild. I'm just doing a strip down. Here you go. 3 small intakes, cold air, 2 big exhaust, hot expanding air, and I've done, and it's done. But do packaging in all 5 valves. Have to sit in the circle of the cylinder. It's done. Do packaging. Yeah, I'm stripping that engine down because I think the thing is we see our cars and we see what they do and we drive them every day, and from above they look like, a nice little box with a cover over them, but no one sees what's going on the inside of them. So that's why I want to show you a deep dive what's going on inside our 1.8T engine. Once I've got it stripped down, I'm going to absolutely scrub it to within an inch of its life and make a coffee table out of it, I think. It's to maximize airflow for performance. Okay, that's good. There you go. So you guys know more than I do. I'm not the expert. I'm just like the mouthpiece at the front, just trying to pass on some information. But I have been walking all over this garage floor on that power steering fluid, walking around my garage, which is not good. But hey ho, worse things happen, don't they? But at least we're in a good situation to get on with this now this week. Now the bumper is off and it's hopefully it will go back together all right as well once I get the alternator off. But I do need to get hold of, I think, Phil P, if you're still on, I think you had a link to a alternator rebuild kit. I'm pretty sure. if you've got that link to that rebuild kit for the alternator, I'd be interested in that because I do want to try and get that alternator going again. Done for packeting. Okay, I'm not sure what that means either. But yeah, we'll see if we can. We'll see if we can do a bit of a deep dive on some of the other jobs as we go through it, because I do want to do an oil change on this car as well, because it's needing one. We know that we need to do an oil change yearly at the most. It's only done 4,000 miles since I've owned it, this car. It needs an oil change because it needs an oil change. If I just lift that up, let's pull the dipstick out. Let's have a look at the colour of the oil in this car. Look at that. It's perfect, the oil. Perfect on the mark. Love that. Or Audi engineering. How I love that. You can just like, that's how I know. Not too much, not too little, just the perfect amount of oil, even after all of its all the stuff it's done, this car. Then he says that, and he puts the dipstick in the wrong way around. Put the dipstick in the right way around, like that. Perfect. I've had the silicone hose replaced. I've had the hose replaced for silicone one. That's a good thing to get done. And I think those kits are getting really difficult to get hold of now. I don't think that Ford make that kit anymore. Yeah, timing belt should be done every 5 years or 75,000 miles, whichever comes soonest. Now that job is with the belt. If you have genuine components, I think a timing belt is about and labour maybe about £550 to have that job done. It's about £250 to £300 in parts, and about the same in labour. Just to give you an idea. Not rebuild, but a regulator, a Bosch one. Okay, right. Okay, so it's not replacing the brushes on the inside. That's just replacing the regulator. So Phil, if I was going to do that, when I've got the alternator off, how do I know if the regulator needs replacing compared to doing the brushes? Do you know? I want to do a video on it, even though I don't know myself yet. I could look it up. I've got the Gates belt kit, green packet from memory. Thank you. Yeah. So I had my Roadster was done by me actually. My timing belt was done by me, but I can't take any credit for it because also Bryn here, BWS TT, came to see me for the day, and he sat in his chair with his little lunch box, eating his sandwiches, and he was telling me and giving me orders what to do, which was a real fun day. And I really, I can't thank Bryn enough for that, for coming down to do that with me. Came down here, told me what I need to do, pointed me in the right direction. He brought all his tools. I didn't have to even use my own tools. Told me what I needed to do. Brilliant. We got it done. But interestingly, he said that the Gates kit is not as good as it once was. The belt isn't as good as it once was on the Gates kit. That was his feedback on it. Knowledge is priceless. Having someone like Bryn here, when you're getting a bit stuck and you think, what do I need to do? And even as far as when it was done, and he said, what we need to do is we need to retard it one tooth once it's on, because the timing will have moved on slightly. And we did, and he was right. We had to retard it by half a tooth back to back where it was, and then it was perfect. And it's it's peace of mind for me. I've got that done now, and that will last another 5 years. And I looked at when it was last done. It was done in 2021, so it was coming up for this year. Towards the end of the year, it'd be 5 years. So it's been done a few months early, but hey, I'm not going to worry about that. It's done nowhere near 75,000 miles. I think it's only got 82,000 miles on the entire clock, that car. So it was good to do. Hope you guys are all enjoying it. If you are, can you give the video a thumbs up so I know you're enjoying the content? And if you are enjoying the content, make sure you share it with everyone you know. Put a message out there. Tell people to get on here and watch what we're talking about, because hopefully we're passing on some good information amongst ourselves. It's good to have so many of you on tonight, so many members on as well. It's always good. So I'm going to do a members only live we'll do as well coming up, because I think that's another thing I can give back to you guys. We can all get on, and we can use a different medium to this. I'll set up a chat room, a bit like Teams, and we'll all jump on it, and then we can all chat and talk together with our webcams. We've tried it once before, but I think we'll do it now. We've got a lot of new members that have joined us recently, so let's see if we can set that up. It might turn a little bit like the Brady Bunch used to be, of everyone in big squares. And if anyone remembers that, you're all probably too young to remember the Brady Bunch, but it used to be a show on TV with everyone sitting in a square at the start of it. But yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll set that up. Obviously, the merchandise, you get a discount with being a member as well. So if you want any t-shirts and hoodies, please drop me an email. We can sort that out as well, get you a discount. And obviously, you get your name in the video as well, which is always good. And again, you are safe in the knowledge that you are supporting me here at the channel as well, which is thank you very much. But I've got some products on the shelf, which I was going to talk about. Where are they now? Can't see them for looking. Don't know where they've gone. Thanks to Steve, I'll pull the N75 and see if the activator is an issue. So this is what tonight's all about. This is all about people sharing knowledge, like in the comments there, everyone's helping each other out. This isn't about me helping you. Well, hopefully some of my videos help you out, but I want to give you like a forum of which you can all talk amongst yourselves and pass knowledge on to each other, because something that I don't use enough, and I must use it more, is the Audi TT forum. That's a real host of great knowledge on there. There's one particular person on there that it is like the oracle of all TT stuff, a guy called Hoggy. I've not met Hoggy, love to meet Hoggy, but all his knowledge on there is amazing, how he passes on all his knowledge of what he's done over the years and cars, and it's brilliant. You know, he'd be worth his weight in gold having him around. But that is a great resource for information. But also, so are these groups we're having now, these live groups where we're all chatting amongst ourselves in the chat, talking about helping each other out. I'm just going to read down the Brady Bunch. How old are you? Do you remember when car was invented? I am old enough, Stephen. That's all you need to know. You know how old I am, because I turned 52 last Tuesday. So there you go. So I know I only look, I've got the face of a sort of 30-year-old, but no, I'm 52. I do my alternator, my timing kit and engine mounts. That makes sense. Any thoughts, guys? Engine mounts can wear out and do need replacing from time to time, but if they don't need doing, I'd leave them alone. That's just my thought. You do need to replace the bolts on them as well when you do it. But yeah, you could do that. But I don't know if you need to do engine mounts. Alternator, I do if you need it to do. If you do need to do it, when you do an alternator, also replace the serpentine belt as well, the aux belt, because that makes sense while you're in there doing that. Obviously, that's going to be right here on this car, so that's looking forward to seeing what's going on with that. Now I've got the bumper off. I don't know if I'm looking forward to it really. It's going to be another job and a half, isn't it? When doing timing kit, don't you move one mount? Yes, you do. You do. Sorry, yeah, but I thought you meant you were going to replace the mount on it. So you can, yeah, you loosen the mount so you can get that one side up, because you go through the driver's side wheel arch essentially to do it. Oh, do you know what? That might be a cup of tea. It's a cup of tea. Perfect. It is 15 minutes late. I did ask for it at half 8, but it's turned up at 8:45. So, oh, look, that's a picture of me and my little brother when about 45 years ago, probably, maybe a bit longer. But yeah, I need a cup of tea because it's bloody cold in here. Yeah, can't get the staff. Yeah, well, I can get the staff, but they don't, unfortunately, because they live in my house, they don't pay anything, do they? So I don't pay them either. So, but yeah, nice to have a cup of tea after all that. Mrs. Jugs, obviously you're coming with us because you're coming for the whole trip, aren't you? You and your husband, when we go to the International TT show. So are you travelling down on the day of the show, or are you travelling down to Folkestone the night before? Are you coming down a day early? I don't know what your plans were. Okay, brilliant. Yeah, you've ordered about the hoodies for the meet. Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. Just so you know that the reason I'm doing the hoodies this way, and when I get them on the website, it'll be much easier. And I'm going to do a website. And bearing in mind I work in IT, I should have a website ready for my channel, shouldn't I? I need to also. I haven't even got a Facebook page for Andycharger. I've got my own personal Facebook page, but I do need to stick. I do need to put up an actual Andycharger Facebook page. So the reason I'm doing the hoodies and stuff the way I am this time by getting you to email me and I'll come back to you is when I did a t-shirt for the Quattrophenia show that I organised, and blimey, would you believe it, this year it's going to be Quattrophenia 5. This is the 5th year we run Quattrophenia, which blows my mind. But when I did the Quattrophenia t-shirt, I said to people, if you want a t-shirt, get in touch and I'll send you the link to it. You can order it yourself and off you go. And I did, and people ordered a t-shirt and they bought it through the link. And then one particular person decided to take the link I'd sent him, edit the link, put his own logos on it, took my logo off, and put a picture of his car on it instead, and then came up to me at the show and took great delight in telling me, "Look, I took your logo off it. I kept the logo you'd done on the back, but I took your logo off and I put a picture of my car on it and walked off." As if he thought I was going to be happy about that. It's like, well, hang on a minute. The whole point of doing my merch is so people are seeing my logo and getting things out there, getting the message of the channel out there. So if you're doing it and then just taking my logo for the event, sticking your own stuff on it, that's obviously not what I'm after. So doing it my way, I'm sure I'm making sure you're getting a good quality product that's got my logo on it as well. And it just makes sense to do it that way. But yeah, hopefully. But yeah, hopefully, Mrs. Jugs, I'll get you your hoodies sorted this week as well. Turnaround's pretty quick on at the moment as well, which is all good. So I'll get those ordered up for you. But yeah, I'll come back to you at the end of this live. So you probably get an email back this evening after the live's finished. Has anyone got any problems with their car at the moment they really can't crack as well? Because it's always good to chuck it into this forum because there's always people around that are looking. Is anyone looking to buy a car at the moment? Let's chuck that in the mix as well. And is anyone looking to sell their car at the moment? So let's have all those in the chat. What are you guys doing with your cars right now? And also, how long have you owned your car? That'd be interesting to see as well. Let's see who comes back on that while I keep sipping my tea and warming myself back up. We've got 17 of you on it, mate. That's normally we have about 40 people at this point, but it's on 19 now. It says normally we have quite a few people on at this point in the evening. We've all settled in for the evening. Maybe Love Island's about to take all my viewers away from me. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, and if you are enjoying what you're watching, please do give it a thumbs up. Phil Gonzalez, how you doing, buddy? Gearbox is flashing. Okay. I would suggest that you might have a problem with your mechatronics unit, Phil, if that's flashing, and get that looked at sooner rather than later, because if you've got a mechatronics issue, can be quite a pain. Got a problem with my car currently. The dash keeps shutting off repeatedly. It might be a bad ground. Central locking interior buttons stop working. Also CCM. Yeah, it could be a CCM. Could be a bad cluster as well. Then if you've got issues with like failing pixels on the cluster or the gauges do cranky stuff, it's definitely worth getting the cluster checked. If you do want to get it checked, there's PB8 services, and there's also Sean Blencoe of Motive Electronics. But yeah, never selling it, and 18 years. Carl, I know you're not selling that. That's a beautiful car you've got. Are you and Rachel coming to Belgium? My mind's gone blank if you're coming to Belgium or not. Hopefully you are. Andy's owned his Merlin 3 yesterday. Happy birthday to the Merlin, and that's looking fantastic. Can't wait to see that in Belgium because that's looking a great car now. Done the trans oil change, still doing the same. Yeah, it might be. I'd say if you've got problems with flashing lights on the gearbox letters, that's definitely mechatronics. I'd definitely get that sorted. Yeah, probably got a forged engine. Any suggestions to send the mech to? Well, you're in Essex, aren't you? So I've got a pal actually, Phil, that had his mechatronics unit done going back maybe about 3 years, based out of Malden. I'll find out who he had his done by, and I'll let you know. I've got a rear bumper, V6 bumper, wings and xenons in the living room. Oh, so not sure yet. Well, if you're not sure, mate, I will say you probably have to get yourself a an alternative accommodation because I don't think there's any rooms left at the Ariane now, the hotel we're all staying at. So yeah, if you do want to get somewhere to stay there, I'd maybe drop them, or I'm happy to drop them an email on your behalf if you like when you decide, and see if there's any chance of a, or I'll say to them, could they, if a room comes up, to give me first refusal. If you want to come, you have to let me know. But I'm always happy to do that for channel members and very good friends of mine. Yeah. Any meets left for February? Yeah, there's a couple of meets. So I don't know, Christoph, if you are on the Audi TT Addicts group. There's a few meets dotted around down the south, I think, now that are coming up. But there is definitely the meet coming up in Rochester on the 22nd of February. So there's a good reason to get this back on the road. What have I got? I haven't got 2 weeks now, have I? I might come in the Roadster. I'll bring the Roadster maybe. But if I can get this back on the road in less than 2 weeks, well, I should do now, because now I've got the bumper off. That's the hardest bit, right? Maybe not. But we'll see what happens. It might be a job for the weekend. But really, I've only got this weekend to get it back on the road, haven't I, for that meet, because otherwise we could be in a bit of trouble. But what I could always do, because it's easy to whip the bumper on and off, depending on how much trouble the alternator is to get off. Don't forget, I've got that 225 one on the shelf, so I can always stick that on there for now just to get it by, couldn't I? And then do it properly once I get the alternator off and get it serviced. My car will be on the road next week. We'll go to that. What, you're going to come to the one in Rochester? Yeah, definitely. If you want to come along, so I'll be at that one. I'll be there either in the Roadster or I'll be there in the Papaya, one or the other. Probably the Papaya if I get it done in time. But yeah, so that's definitely a meet to go to. Further up north, I don't know what's going on meet wise. The Yorkshire TT owners tend to have a few meets going on. Always worth checking their group out. They have a few meets coming up. But I don't know what else is going on at the moment. There's one, I think there's one this week. I think there's one tomorrow night, isn't there? At Caffeine and Machine at the Hut, I think, tomorrow night, believe it or not. Gina is organised that. So Gina from the TT Addicts, because she's based out that way during the week. So I think she's going to that tomorrow night. So that's one to go to. But my garden at the moment is looking like, I mean, it looks beautiful because the lawn is perfect, but it's so boggy out there. You couldn't put any cars on it at the moment. So I think we're probably looking at least April, late April, until I can get any cars on the garden. So I think we'll probably do a May Springfest this year. We'll probably do a July Springfest. So I'm going to do two. Isn't there a new TT coming out? EV. There is the Concept C is the TT that they're talking about at the moment. There's no guarantee it's out yet, or that they're going to produce it. I don't think, but it's doing the motor shows at the moment. It looks pretty cool. I think it looks like a Bugatti, doesn't it? I think it looks quite nice. As you know, I'm a fan of electric cars, and if you're not already a subscriber to my other channel, please check out Andycharger Electric. You'll find the logo is this colour, actually, like my glasses. But check out my Andycharger Electric channel, where you'll find content on the Tesla and other electric vehicles. So if you're an electric vehicle driver, or you're thinking about dipping your toe in the water with electric vehicles, check that out for definite. Oh yes, they've confirmed they're going into production. Oh right, okay. Or they want a Halo TT R8 style. Oh, so either they are going to production or they're going with something else. Don't you mean by that? But they are going to production? Or they want a Halo TT R8 style car, not TT DNA designer. Yeah, the thing is, right, you can't. I always go back to cars that have their DNA changed. The classic case of this is the Ford Escort. So the Ford Escort Mark 1 came out, and Steve Craddock, if you're on here, he's got a lovely Mark 1. And then they evolved that into the Mark 2. They squared a few things off, and they got rid of the rounded headlights, and they squared off a few of the bumpers and stuff. The wings made it look a little bit more boxy. And then when they went to the Mark 3 Escort, They turned it into a hatchback. So the whole DNA is gone. It doesn't even look like the same car. I don't see how they can say that's a Mark III Escort because it's not the same thing as the Escort was. But being my first car was a Mark III Escort, then you know. Cheers, Phil. Hope you're good, buddy. Don't be a stranger, and I'll drop you an email at some point, and we'll catch up. Yeah, look after yourself. Enjoy yourself, and hope you have a good evening. I bet you're off to watch Love Island, but you know, I know it goes. Yeah, yeah. They are going with the design cues, the concept C, and doing a Halo car. Okay, yeah, it's what it is. You know, cars are going to change. You can't keep knocking out the same car for 30 years that looks the same because people will not buy it. Tastes change, styles change, everything changes. Otherwise, we'd all be walking around in flares, wouldn't we? If we all, you know, if we all going to keep the same style. So fashions change and styles change, and cars have to change with that. And I think, like a lot of things, like fashion, cars come back into fashion. Things become fashionable. And the good example of that would be with cars is colours. So we know that if you go back to the early 2000s, everything was silver. Cars were all silver. So there is, of course, naturally a glut of those colour cars around. But of course, if you go back to 2000 and you're ordering a Audi TT from the showroom, you're not going to be buying a white one because white's not popular. You're not going to be buying a papaya one because that's a bit gaudy. I don't want to be driving around that. It looks a bit like a wannabe's car. Or a bright purple one like Andy's car. It's a bit unusual, isn't it? But roll the clock forward 25 years, those rare colour cars are now the sought after ones. So the sensible people would have been asking for those really, a great example of that about the rare colour cars. They do a colour called cosmic yellow, right? Although it's gold, metallic gold, and it's a very Marmite, let's say, in taste. And I only know of two cosmic yellow ones, and I think that's because when they came out, they were a bit like, wow, that's a bit of you've got to have a serious love for that colour to want that. But of course, now they're so rare. I know Pearl Mac's got one that they're really sought after. She's got a collection of 3.2s, really rare. I think she's got three papayas. She's got a Merlin purple, or she's got a berry one, isn't she, as well? And she's also got the cosmic yellow. So what a collection of TT she's got. Want a white, I can't even speak. Want a white Mark 1. Very rare. I've seen a couple of them. Well, I've seen a total of 3. Jason Case has got a great one. Tracy's got a great one in just that north of London. And I think the other one they sold back to Mark Stanley over in Wales. I think Mark's got it back now. I think the V6 will pick up in price. Yeah, Mohammed, I don't know if you've seen my video on the 3.2, but that is the one that's going up in price right now. That is the what's the word I'm looking for? Basically the prices are rising for the 3.2. They are what I'm looking for, but you know what I mean, they're going up in price anyway. Compared to the 225. Now I've done a lot of research and I've got called out a little bit over this by certain people out there, which I think they need to realise how much research is done on that subject before they start calling me out with their back of a fag packet facts of their own. But of course, I went off and I did the research into firstly cars that sold, cars that are for sale on Auto Trader, not the old jalopies that are on Facebook Marketplace, but the ones that are genuinely for sale on eBay. Cars that have actually sold and the selling price of the cars, what people have genuinely sold for, all the facts are put into it, and looking at 224 1.8Ts against 3.2 V6s, and the 3.2 V6 is head and shoulders above the others in climbing. Looking at prices 18 months ago to now, 18 months ago, the prices for the 225, anything, I think the 225 is cheaper now than it was then. The 3.2, absolutely the complete opposite. It is climbing in price. Okay, Mohammed, if you want to go back and check out my video on that, you probably find it quite an interesting watch. Oh, yeah. I don't doubt that for a minute, Steve, that he's moved that on. Moves on all the time. He moves cars on all the time. He is, do you know what? He is such a lovely guy, though. If you want any parts, I highly recommend getting in touch with Mark Stanley because whatever you need, he can probably get hold of. Um, next detail one, I will know what I'm looking for. Thanks to you and BWS and the Parrot Bros. Yeah, yeah, well, that's what we're here for. You know, we like the cars. We've got a passion for the cars. We like to share our knowledge with you guys. We're fortunate we've got YouTube as a medium to share our thoughts behind it. I know like Bryn is doing a few more videos now and getting back in the scene, which is great to see. Obviously, Dom has stepped away completely from it. Stephen's doing a few videos as well. You've also got Travis, TT, Travis YT in the States doing some great content of taking his car and modifying it. Some great content out there as well. Can't talk enough about it of people that are still doing some great content out there for the Mark 1. Obviously, you've got Chris doing his Mark 2 stuff, and he's got a really successful little garage now. So if you're based a bit more further up north, you need to get your car serviced. He's doing more stuff on his cars now rather than videos, I think. But definitely go and check him out over in Lincolnshire because he's doing a pretty reasonably priced service, I think. But yeah, there's still a few of us around doing videos, helping people out. Hopefully, my content is now still doing the how-tos, but also bringing a bit more value now on people thinking about buying cars or about people maintaining their cars to think about the bigger jobs and also share what I'm doing here as well. You really explain it for crash dummies, aren't we? Do you know what, Mohammed? That is my whole remit for my content is I don't know what I'm doing. So I want to show people they can do it, inspire people that you can do it yourself through watching what I do and learning from my mistakes. And I share all the things that go wrong as well, as you know, in my videos. And it's there to inspire you to give it a go yourself and save yourself some money. Exactly that. Christoph, you hit the nail on the head there. Taking it apart, learning how it works is absolutely the best way of doing it. And it's the inquisitive nature of me, I think, that as always over the years, why I started doing what I do, because the TT, the inner CV boot had failed on the Roadster. Wasn't paying the garage £250 to put it right. No, instead I was going to buy a CV boot for 20 quid and do it myself. But of course, that £20 job probably turned into about £120 because I had to buy a lot of tools to do that job as well. But tools I've still used to this day that I've done on other jobs. And of course, I've done other CV boots since as well. So it's been, they have been beneficial. You know, there's loads of midges in this garage tonight. And I'm sure they're all biting me. I feel like I'm in like abroad somewhere rather than see being bit on the neck. Not good, is it? Anyway. Yeah. So if you've got any more questions, can't do it, but I can't do it, but it inspires me and keeps me motivated. That's good. Richard Stevenson, how you doing? I've had a full service, but not think that the Haldex was done. So can I do it myself on axle stands? Yeah, you can. So I've got a video on that, Richard. So I've got a video on how to do your Haldex service with a syringe, a sealant gun, and the actual Haldex fluid comes in like a sealant cartridge, right? But one thing you do need to invest in if you're doing it yourself, he says, comes over to his tool cupboard. You need to buy yourself this spanner. So this is a Haldex filter removal tool. So if you're doing the oil, maybe you don't, but I would say do the filter at the same time. You need one of these spanners. It's because you've got such little room to work with under the car. You literally slop this over the filter, and you have to give these little notches, move the filter around. Yeah, yeah. That sealant is a bit of a one-shot stop, really. So you have to be ready with the filter plug to put it back in. And what I would say, if you are doing the Haldex filter yourself and doing the oil yourself, one thing you must make sure you do before you go ahead, cut the nozzle, do the plug and all the rest of it, is have everything ready to go back in. So when you get the oil in, you need to have that you need to have that plug ready with the washer on it as well. Washer is vitally important, because if you don't put the washer on and you put it back in, what will happen is that bolt will pull itself too far up into your Haldex unit, and it will strip the threads. So, and then you won't be able to put it, you won't be able to know how to nip it up tight enough with your what's the tool? Well, the torque wrench. Couldn't remember the word. My brain is like mush tonight. I can't remember half the things. Anyone fancy doing mine? No, absolutely not. Take it to a garage. If you don't want to do it yourself, take it to the garage. I say it's a bit of a it's lying on your back in a cold garage with not a lot of room to work. Getting it up on axle stands, it's just a possible. You can do it, and I've done it, but do I want to do it again? Probably not. I did the kids, one of the kids' cars. I did the rear axle bush on the Fiesta. There's a video on my channel about the Fiestas as well. I do, as well as kind of covering TT content. I cover Fiestas as well. I did the rear bushes, which is meant to be an absolute pig of a job, and it was actually all right. It's easy enough to do. I used to run a body shop. It's quite funny. Oh, cool. Oh, if you want to do some body work and some paint work, we can always find you some jobs to do. Definitely. So, but I've got two bits of good news I'm going to share with you about myself, talking about health and things. So, for those of you that don't know, so I've lost 2.5 stone. And the reason I've lost 2.5 stone is because I had high blood pressure, and I was pre-diabetic as well. So once you get on the H1B HBV1A, I think it's classed as HBV1A scale. If you get over 48, you're classed as diabetic. Between 42 and 47, you're classed as pre-diabetic, and under 42, 41 to 21 is seen as normal. And over the last 3 years, I've gone from 44 to 46 to 47. So any higher this year, and I would have been diabetic, or classed as, or at risk of diabetes, shall I say. So I went to the doctor and I said, I need to do something about it. And they weren't overly helpful. And they said I wasn't heavy enough or fat enough or obese enough, even though I was in the obese category, to get the medication to do it on the Mounjaro. So I've paid for it myself. I've lost 2.5 stone since the 1st of November. I feel amazing. Side effects, feel a bit queasy now and again, but not too bad, nothing massive. But I feel great. I feel much healthier. I went for a blood test last week, and my measurement is down from 47 to 36. So I'm back in the healthy range. So I'm no longer at risk of diabetes, which is great. I'm really happy about that. My blood pressure has come right down as well with my weight loss. I've been on Ramipril tablets for the last 2 years, which I want to come off because I don't want to be stuck on tablets all my life. And when I went to the doctor today, she said, if your blood pressure is right down, you can come off the Ramipril. So I've come off it. So the Ramipril is gone. So I'm no longer taking blood pressure tablets. I'm doing it for a month, and to see if my blood pressure stays low enough. And if it stays in the normal category after a month, then I can stay off it. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, what dose? Okay, so Steve, I started on 2.5 milligrams because that's what you have to start on. And funny enough, my daughter's boyfriend is also on it, and we have long conversations. But he's up on a much higher dose than me. So after a month, I went up to 5 milligrams, and I did start to feel a bit more sickness and feeling great. But I stuck it out for a month, and then I came back down to 2.5, and I stayed on 2.5. And the majority of the weight shifted very early on. I'd say now I'm probably maintaining weight. I'm probably not going up or going down. I know this is not TT content, guys, but it's a bit public service information to help people out, I guess. But yeah, so I'm 2.5 stone down, feeling great. Highly recommend it. I shouldn't really recommend taking weight loss medication, should I? But I do. It's revolutionised my life. I have to say, and the the risks, the reward outweighed the risks for me because I was on a real slippery slope. And bearing in mind, I play a lot of sport. I count myself as quite active. I've got quite a stressful job though to stick into that, so that doesn't help with blood pressure. But it looks like I'm heading all in the right direction. So hopefully, I'll be around for many more years to come, bringing you more great Audi TT Mark 1 content. Uh, yeah, yeah. I think a lot of it, Steve, though, is it's just shutting off that food noise. Yeah, yeah. Thanks, Carl. Appreciate that, buddy. It's good to stay. It's good to be in a healthy zone now and a healthy range. I'm really, really pleased with what's happened. Um, so yeah, I'll be all like posing myself. That's why my jacket looks so big now, Carl, because it's I've got a hoodie underneath. I've got a football top underneath, and I have to pad it out a bit. Um, but yeah, I think you've got to look after yourselves, guys, because if you don't look after yourself, then no one else is going to do it for you. Um, the one thing I'd say is that that I was quite annoyed if I went to the doctor for help, and my BMI was 32.5. So 30 is classed as obese, 32.5 is obviously obese, but they wouldn't prescribe it to me on the NHS until it got to 35. So I almost said to them, also going to eat a few more of my wife's cakes and get up to a bit higher before I started, so you'll get it to me for free. They wouldn't give it to me for free, so I did it. I paid for it myself and I've done it. What did you do food wise? Right, so food wise, because it shut the food noise off. See, I wasn't hungry, so I would literally go. I wouldn't eat breakfast. I wouldn't probably eat lunch. I'd eat a main meal maybe, and then not snack at all, cutting all the snacks out, and then maybe go almost the next night for food some days. So it just shuts the food noise off to that level. And that's what really helped me. And I love to snack. I like to eat bad food. This is what I do. I like takeaways. I like all the wrong things in life. I'm married to one of the best cake makers in the country. Probably, I need to get her on Bake Off, don't I? Really. So that doesn't help because she makes such tasty treats for me all the time. Well, they're not for me; they're for other people, and then I just have a little sneaky one. But yeah, but what it does mean is it means I'm going to be around a lot longer now to keep working on these great cars. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys sticking with me tonight while I had that little chat about my own life and own health, because I think it's always, I'm like a bit like an open book. I'll always tell you exactly what's going on in my world, so I can, I am. You get what you see with me. I am. Oh, Jacob retracted his message. What was that, Jacob? You haven't got to retract your message. You can be honest. Life's scary sometimes. Let's be honest. It is, yeah. My boss at work always makes me food at work. Tell him to cut down on it, otherwise my partner will leave me. You don't want that. You don't want it to affect your life. But at the same time, you also don't want it to affect your health, do you? Food is a wonderful, one of my vices, I suppose. But you've got to remember what is good for you. Someone was asking, I noticed about the rings, where they can get rings from. And I think the comment came back that you can. I think Mark Stanley actually has them new still. So if you want a set of rings for your car, I think Mark's still got a few new sets knocking around. And if you are after like components that are no longer available, Mark is a really good source for components. There's a lot of new old stock he's bought up over the years. Even things like where am I? What's that vibrating? I can hear something vibrating. I can't see my pads now. There's like a set of like yellow foam pads that go under your springs. They're called I've got a name of spring seats. They're called, but they're like a foam disc. And he sells them new still. You can get them new from him. There's two sizes. Oh, I don't know if there's two sizes, but I know that Mark has them. You can take them off and polish them really well. Did it with my car, it's brand new. Yeah, they do make a difference. I always think, focus, I was touching on 21 stone, started Manjaro in December and lost 1 stone in 3 months. That's good work, buddy. And do you know what, Steve? It's always good to talk to people that have done it as well and sort of give each other a bit of help and advice and stuff. So if you ever want to have a chat about it, mate, always happy to have a chat offline about stuff. Always here for you to talk about it. about my own experiences and what I've done and how I've worked through it. I know with your job, you probably have to work some really antisocial hours, and that doesn't help, does it? When you're hungry, you need to get some food inside you. But yeah, maybe if you want to drop me a message, mate, or give me a call some point, happy to have a chat about stuff. Always help each other through these things. My worry is now I'm going to come off it, so I've got my last dose left in the house. I'm going to do next week. Then I'm coming off it, and then yeah, and then I'm going to be living with the food noise again. So let's see. Hopefully, I've made enough changes to deal with it. But yeah, I'm probably going to wrap up for tonight, guys, because I want to spend a bit of time tonight just getting some filming done with this. Getting the front end off now and talking about what I've done, and I do want to sort of like go and warm up a little bit as well. Well, I want to thank you all for being on tonight, guys, and helping me out and following my content, watching my videos. Please go off and watch the latest video as well, because that is quite interesting on the jobs that you need to do as a new owner. I think you probably enjoy that quite a bit. And on Mohammed, I say go off and watch my video on about the 3.2 rising in price. It's the video immediately before the last one. Definitely check that out, see what you think about it, because the prices are definitely going up for the 3.2. And yeah, I'll be back next week with more content. Hopefully the car might be done and we could be in a really good position to talk about how it's gone. And yeah, see you on the 22nd, Chrissy, as well. Yeah, we'll definitely get together on that day and talk about cars. And yeah, that'll be my next show. Carl, I don't know if you're coming down to Rochester on that day. It's a long way for you to come, and I know it's doesn't come out in bad weather, does it, your car? So I don't know, you might be about. Who knows? Hopefully you are. Be good to see you. Not seeing you for a bit, but take care, guys. Thanks for joining on tonight. I know the last sort of 20 minutes probably been non-TT content, but always good to talk about life in general and let you know what's going on in my world. But I'm looking forward to getting this lovely car back on the road properly and getting out to see some of you at some TT shows. Thank you as always for supporting me. And if you're not already a channel member and you'd like to support me on the channel, please do join as a member. Use the little dollar sign below to donate to the channel as well. Really appreciate anything people donate to help me buy me a cup of coffee and help me out with the channel. It's always appreciated. Thank you to the new members that have joined tonight as well, guys, because that was really appreciated. New members joining on as well. Always good to see you on the live feed with your green names popping up there and chatting about all things TT. So, as always, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you very, very soon next Monday for definite. And keep your eyes peeled midweek for the video that's coming up on installing that CarPlay device in a Ford Kuga. Unusual, but if you like the content, I'm sure you like that as well. Thanks all, and see you soon. Take care.